The FNRad Snowboard Podcast is presented by Vans.
Oh yeah, I want it to be absolutely not attractive to snowboarders.
My phone rings and it's capturized. What do you want? Holy fuck.
And I didn't sign the contract. I just had it in my bag for a couple of months.
Maybe we need an injection of that, because it'd be interesting.
They paid for my mom to go to Japan with me.
And we're all like, oh, that's just banging that over.
We pushed each other to become better.
Once you go there, you can't go back to the ski resort.
The American method is Jamie Lynn.
And I just came through and fucking hit it raw. Front three-tailed it.
Season 5 of the FNRad Snowboard Podcast is sponsored by Wired Snowboards, the Boardroom Snowboard Shop, Crow's Nest Barbershops, Anon Goggles, and Tribute Board Shop. Go to wiredsnowboards.com and check out the new lineup for 2020. They've got all kinds of boards for all kinds of conditions, and you can even create your own one-of-a-kind graphic on any board they make. For my new board this year, I contacted Bones Brigade alumnus Mike Vallely to see if he'd let me use his iconic elephant graphic. And guess what? He said yes. So now I have a wired Directive 61 with a one-of-a-kind graphic that Rob Dow created based on that Vallely graphic, which was the first pro skateboard I ever had. I couldn't be more stoked. The board looks amazing. It turned out awesome. You guys should buy wired boards. Do it today. Welcome to the FNRad Snowboard Podcast Season 5. As promised, Episode 1 is Devun Walsh. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome to the show. We talk to snowboarders about pretty much everything now. The show's evolved over the years to this now. It's just like long-form conversations with snowboarders who make the sport what it is. And Devun is an extremely good example of that. He's had a really long snowboarding career. He's one of those guys that pro snowboarders who I look up to. And he's a chill guy. So I caught up with him at his house in North Vancouver a couple weeks ago, actually. I hope you like it. I can remember when you had your first voice, like your voice before this. And I don't think people, I mean, your fans will know. People know what happened. But like a lot of listeners of the show probably wouldn't know. I've since learned about thumb versus like fingers on a sled.
Yeah, you don't ever want to do the fingers.
So you had fingers.
I didn't.
You didn't? I thought it was that.
No, I don't know where you heard that, but
it was an old sled, right?
It had this steel mountain bar like mountain bar in it for like side hilling.
Yeah.
And everyone kept saying, "You gotta get rid of that thing, man."
Yeah.
I was like, come on, what's the big deal?
Yeah.
We're up snowmobiling, and we were jumping all day. And then I decided that, to stop and have a couple of beers, and we were just about to leave. And I looked up at the jump, and Kern's like, he saw me look at it like I was looking at the tracks.
Yeah. And
he's like, yeah, go hit it again.
Was he like a good guy to film with? Like, because he was, like, he knew your ability level and he would encourage you within it? Or was he a bad guy who would say, like, you got this, even when he's like, and then you'd land and he'd be like, fuck, I didn't think
No,
about
he was pretty great about
Yeah.
He definitely was good, but I think what he was really good at was finding stuff and then, like, he'd push you to do stuff, which was good,
Yeah.
But it's never really for your ability.
Right. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
So he said...
But, I mean, he was the worst for, like, he'd push you to do something, and you'd do it on, like, a low light day.
Yeah.
And then we'd go back, and we're driving by it, and it's super sunny. He's like... He'd stop there, and you're like... Fuck, I know what you're thinking. You're sitting on your side with your helmet on. And then he'd be like, wave you over with his two fingers. And you go over, stop beside him, and he'd be like, man, look at the light right now. Imagine you were to do that again. It's like, no, I'm not fucking doing it again. It was fucking scary the first time.
Yeah.
And he got it out of me.
And you were prepared the first time.
And
now
like,
you're just
now
going
we're going
cold.
somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I have my mind wrapped around that.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it now.
And would you do it?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
And it was always worth it, but
right.
Sometimes you would go and try to do it again, and you couldn't quite do it, and you would just seriously frustrate yourself so bad, and you'd start off the day in a shit mood.
Ah, that's no good.
Yeah.
But if you nailed it, then you start off the day in a great mood.
Yeah.
Yeah, he seems like an intelligent... I think that he seems like one of the smartest guys I've ever met. It's a weird thing to say, but, like, there's something about him...
Yeah, he's so street smart, though, too.
Yeah.
Which is, like, translates into... That's my dryer, by the way.
It's going.
Yeah. No, it's my washer, actually.
Oh, perfect.
It's just finishing off a spin cycle.
It's all good. Yeah, it's not loud enough in here that we can...
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're right about the street smarts thing, but also like he's a really good friend, hey? Like as far as friends go, like he seems to have...
He's a great friend.
Yeah, he seems to have people's backs. I don't know, you sometimes see people at a skate park that you wonder, like, I don't know, do they even skate? But they know everybody else's level. Like, hey man, you got that. You got 2 more tries at that and I'll throw down a 20 or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
He seems like kind of that guy in snowboarding.
Yeah, he is that guy.
Yeah. Love him. That's right. So anyways, he tells you to hit this jump on your sled.
Yeah.
You still have a voice at this time and you're like, yeah, maybe I'm going to hit that.
Yeah, and then, you know what, we had hit it a bunch all day. Like, or near the end of the day, and then everyone, you know, we were always kind of drinking beers at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not attributing it to that, but definitely then we went down and had a beer. And we're just about to leave, and I turn and look, and the sun's starting to get low. And he's like, hey, yeah, one more time, yeah. Just for fun, you know? So I zip up there, you know, it's always last go. And I kind of nosedive my sled. I took my thumb off the throttle right off the lip.
Yeah.
And I wasn't good enough sledder at the time to know to gas it to like bring up the nose, and I caught my throat right on this mountain bar that everyone told me to get rid of course.
Right.
Because it was steel instead of like the rubber ones.
Yeah, yeah.
And right away, as soon as I hit, I'm like instantly just rolled off my sled and flipped my helmet off. And everyone comes ripping up to me. And they're like, are you okay? Are you okay? And the very first thought in my head is like, oh my god, I'm gonna fucking choke to death right in front of all my friends. And I was gasping for air.
Yeah.
And then, like, maybe 10 seconds go by. And then I think to myself, okay, calm down. Can you breathe? Can you breathe? So I take, like, a breath, and I'm like, yeah, like I can breathe, but it's, like, out of a pinhole. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
and I'm thinking, okay, I can breathe, like, it's, like, very labored, but it's there. So then everyone's like, okay, I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. And then I'm like, and I'm sitting on the ground at this time. So, like, I'm like, yeah, I can snowmobile out. But I, like, you know, I'm sure a lot more conversations went.
Yeah.
But, like, this is basically what I remember. And I'm like, I can ride my sled out. So I stand up and I go to get on my sled and I almost pass out. I'm like, no. There's no chance.
Oh, no.
Like, I just can't. As soon as I start to move, I'm like, I have nothing. Like, I'm, exhausted, basically.
Yeah. You're in shock, probably.
Yeah, and I breathing out of such a small hole.
Yeah.
That, I have nothing. So I'm like, you need to call, like, a helicopter.
Oh, my God.
Or, like...
That moment is, like... That's crazy,
I mean,
right?
I guess I probably maybe could have got doubled out. I don't know. It was, like, so sketchy.
Yeah.
I think what happened is Sean called 911.
You still had cell service, yeah?
Yeah. Well, he rode to the ridge.
Yep.
And he talked to them, and, like, basically they're like, yeah, we're getting a helicopter here. So then they got one there, and, like, as soon as the helicopter landed, I got on it.
Yeah.
Got flown to Whistler. And
did they fly you down to Vancouver right away?
Well, no, they brought me in to Whistler.
Yeah.
And they took me straight in for x-rays.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's going to be fine, you know. So then I was there for like half an hour or whatever.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the lady came and she's like, just want to let you know, we've called the helicopter back, and you need to go to VGC. Your airway's tightening up.
Yeah.
It's very small, very constricted or whatever.
Yeah.
We're going to give you a shot of adrenaline. And then I'm like, oh, okay. Like, she's like, you're going to be fine. Don't worry. And then they're wheeling me out to the helipad. And then the same lady's with me, and she's rubbing my arm. She's like, don't worry. Dr. So-and-so is going with you. And he's the very best we have at tracheotomies. And at this point, they had drawn an X on my...
Oh, God.
On my throat. And I was like, wow, this is... Like, you're thinking in my head, like, wow, this is serious.
Yeah, like they're going to have to poke the hole so you can
So,
breathe.
yeah, the doctor rode with me down there. And once the adrenaline got in there, it was...
Yeah.
I was fine. I made it to VGH fine. I landed on the roof.
Yeah.
And I was, like, wheeled down straight into, like, ICU. And
Jesus.
yeah, my mom came. And
people must have been tripping.
It was crazy
out.
emotional.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I remember seeing my mom, and I don't know, I just went into, like, bawling. I don't know.
Yeah, because you're hurt. Yeah.
But I wasn't that hurt. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't breathe, but there was a lot that, like, I was fine after I had a great ride down there. I sat front seat. They propped me up in the helicopter.
Way.
It's like, wow, it's kind of like a free heli ride.
That's so sick.
But I almost got super emotional. I was like,
yeah.
I was in the hospital for like 3 days.
I didn't realize it was that big a deal.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty, Yeah, it was right at the end of the season too, like kind of spring, right after we wrapped on Resistance or
technical difficulties.
Maybe
Yeah.
something earlier.
Yeah, but it was. I can remember you came in the shop pretty close to after.
Yeah.
And this is a foggy memory, but I remember there was maybe some, like, talk of, like, hey, we can rebuild your vocal cords or something like that. And you're like, I don't know.
Well, they didn't really know what happened to my...
Right.
Well, like, I've been checked.
Yeah.
And they're like, everything looks normal. It's weird that your voice... So, the funny side story of it was Bjorn was staying at my house at the time.
Yeah.
So he came in to see me at VGH, and I was like, hey, you know the girl down the street that I'm dating? You have to stop by there and tell her, because she's probably wondering where I am.
Yeah.
Like, hey, tell her I'm in intensive care, and I'll be out, in like a week.
Yeah.
Just let her know, right?
Yeah.
So he didn't tell her.
What?
I don't know why. I never got to ask him, but he didn't ever told her. So I got out and I finally called her and was like, hey, and my voice when I came out was crazy high pitch, right?
Yeah.
Like this crazy, like high, which I don't have anymore.
Right.
It was only high pitch.
Yeah.
And I called her and I left this message on her answering machine saying, hey, I was in the hospital and I broke my voice. Anyway, I listened to it after and it was wild how it sounded. Yeah. But about 3 days after I was out of the hospital, my voice cracked during a conversation. Whoa. And then it turned into this voice, and now I have no high pitch.
Yeah.
And it's gone. Like, I can scream as loud as I want, and nothing comes out.
That's incredible.
For 20 years.
For 20 years, yeah. It was 20 years ago.
Yeah, and that was my wife.
That's unbelievable.
I was newly dating.
That is insane.
Yeah.
And you never asked Bjorn, like, what the fuck, dude? Like,
yeah.
I gave you one job, dude. That's fucked up.
One task.
Yeah, like, go tell her that my voice is
I think he said he knocked on her door and she didn't answer.
Sure. Yeah.
It's like, you can't leave her a note? Or he was probably on his way to the airport.
Sure.
We always showed up an hour early.
Yeah.
Which was about...
For an international
Which was about
flight.
20 minutes too late.
Yeah, yeah. You're running if you get to the airport an hour before.
Well, before it was fine, right? Before 9/11.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Oh, yeah, a lot of that shit happened before 9/11 for you guys.
Yeah. So you were fine to get there. You could even show up like 45 minutes early.
Yeah.
And be like... Okay, you're late, sir.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we're gonna let you on.
We're gonna hold the plane. I went with Murray one time on a flight where there were 3 of us, I think, and we held the plane, and then our seats were at the back of the plane, and everyone on the plane was just shaking their head like, "We're waiting for you, assholes." I remember being like, "Murray, why are we doing this?" We were just drinking it at the
at the bar.
Yeah,
who hasn't done that?
That's crazy.
Is that our plane that they're calling? They're calling our names. Oh,
those are our names. Why are they calling our
And then the guy beside he's like, "Yeah, they didn't call him for 20 minutes, guys."
Yeah.
Oh. Well, one more round.
Yeah, one more round. Yeah, we got time. Yeah. That's what he would always say. We got time. We got time. What was the first flight you had to take? How old were you on your first trip?
So did you look over the last tape, the last recording, and then know where we're at?
No. I just wanted to ask you about your voice.
Okay.
And the other thing, I want to spend most of our time just talking about, because from comments and shit, people want to know about like forum days mostly. Okay. That's like.
Then that's the heater.
That's the heater. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. When did you start getting paid and flown around? Was that like, because we got basically.
That was at Geordie's. That was at Geordie's.
And was that?
That's what
you negotiated that like.
No, those guys called me.
Yeah, they called.
Like I was writing for Option.
Well, right.
Never board.
Yeah.
Option.
Yeah.
And I negotiated this thing with Option that they'd give me a board a month.
Yeah.
And I would sell it, and then I suddenly I was like, good.
Yes.
And they were like, okay, we're gonna pay you $200 a month in a board.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm living the high life. This is great. Straight out of school, I'm rich.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then,
did you consider yourself a pro at that time with your name on a board and everything? Would you say, I'm a pro snowboarder?
Well, I was making money, so
yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, I'm trying to think, like, was that an option? Yeah, and then I went down and I jumped that road gap, or that, like, berm gap.
Yeah.
At Bear.
Yeah.
And then I got the cover of Blunt.
Right.
And then Shorty's was like, ring, ring.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, hey.
But he flew you down, right?
No, he just called me.
Oh, cool.
And he's like, hey, I want to pay you $2,000 a month. I was like, $2,000? He's like, yeah, $2,000 a month. I was like, yeah.
Yes, please.
I didn't even have a bank account. I cashed every check at Money Mart.
No.
Yeah.
In New West, or where were you? You were here in North Van.
Well, I started in New West.
Yeah.
And then Money Mart. And then North Van.
Fucking believable. Money Mart.
Yeah. For like years.
Wouldn't they take $10 on every 100 or something?
For sure. I was rich though.
Did you cash your Shorties checks
US
there too?
Money. Although it was about the same at that time. But.
Yeah, it was pretty close. You cash your Shorties checks there.
Shorties checks.
Holy fuck,
yeah,
dude.
Like Option was like, no, you can't quit. I'm like, dude, why? They're like, why would you quit? I'm like, it's $2,000 a month. Like, yeah, you're paying me $200 in a board.
Yeah. Do you think you would?
They're like, but can we offer you that? And I'm like, no, this is a skateboard company.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a pro skateboarder.
Right.
Not a pro snowboarder.
Right.
This is like. This is my fallback career at this point.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna still be a pro skateboarder.
Yeah, totally.
So like I was like, this is like my dream come true.
Yeah, a lot of people have mentioned that you're a really good skater too. Like, hey, Devun was a really good skater. You know?
Yeah, I was never.
You know, Sluggo said it.
I was never like, I was never like close, but I was like okay.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
I know what you mean.
Like Ben Coos was a really good skateboarder.
Oh my god.
Didn't make it, but he was really good.
Yeah.
Like I was like 2 tiers below him. I could go and do like a kickflip on my 100th try over the hip.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I could, you know.
Yeah, that's you're completely describing me on a snowboard. Yeah. I was like, you know,
I could do it, but it would take me a lot of tries.
Right. I could get a photo, as long as it was a still shot, and you didn't care if I landed. I could make it look like I could do it.
That's right.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
right?
You get the send.
Do you think you would have been the pro that you became if you would have taken the deal with Option? If you would have been like, oh, yeah, you know what? I'll stay with you guys.
I think Shorty's marketing was just off the chain.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like, those guys came in and they did stuff, and Rawl was like, Rawl from Special Blend took that took the sort of the what he saw and put it in his playbook. Yeah. You know, he changed the logo to Special Blend to the SB.
Yep.
Right off of the Shorty's like 3 balls.
Yep.
And then he like took the forearm, he's like with the F, and like everything was a play out of the Shorty's playbook.
That's interesting.
From
that's
the beginning.
Cool. Yeah, that's rad.
Yeah, like way
Smart.
tighter and you know, and then DC came in with the boots, and like everyone was like pulling off of skateboarding a little bit at that time. Yeah. That's how Forum got so it was all marketing, right? And it was different marketing in Burton.
Oh, completely different.
Yeah.
Completely different.
It was skateboard marketing.
Yeah, that's true. When I think about it from that point of view.
It was all skate marketing put into snowboarding.
Yeah. Okay, because when I think of you and your integrity, because there's very few people that have the integrity in the sport that you have, you know, like you make sure that something that's coming out on video isn't going to be a sequence in a magazine from the same shot or something like that. You know what I mean? Like you were like making sure that the images of you out in the world were proper. Right. I can remember you saying something about like you didn't want to be in a bail section. Like even if the bail was really good, you're kind of like, I'd rather not. Can we not have it in there? Yeah. And I think that was what set you apart. But then in direct conflict with that is you riding the Shorty's boards the first year when they were just pieces of shit. Like,
oh yeah, those are terrible. They're made in China.
Yeah. And they were like, the shapes weren't quite right. Yeah. And they were easy to break. And but then the story is, you're like, Tony, I gotta have one of these made. Can we just make one with your graphic on it?
Yeah, I mean, you know, and then we end up getting our own shapes. And
did you ever feel bad?
And you know what? It's like Dow invented that like radius to flat kick, and it floated. You could ride a twin tip, and it floated so good in powder. Yeah, like it really floated different. Like more of the round nose, like really pushed. Yep. Where the radius to flat was like a boat. Yeah. You know, like coming out of the water, and like you could ride the centered stance, and it floated so much better. Yep. Like, I mean, I've pushed for that, like every snowboard company I've ridden for.
That's sick.
You know, especially like even just DC, you know?
Yeah, yeah. The new DC board's really nice. The one you ride is epic. It's a really nice looking board. Mm-hmm. I saw it at the demo, and that was the rep was like, Devun rides this one. I'm like, oh cool, it's fucking sick. It's a good board. Yeah, those technological advances, sometimes it's just luck. You know what I mean? Like Peter Line's rainbow board, he was trying to do the Jamie Lynn flop kick from those whale boards from the year before. Okay. But because of the shape of that nose, remember, it was super weird. Yeah. It had that little, like, because it was so pointy or something, it only had a little bit of that flop.
Right, exactly.
But it was cool. It's a unique board to this day. There's no board that was like that.
That's true.
And then I think Dow told me he was copying those ride boards. That flat thing.
That was it.
But his radius, I don't know, whatever it was, they worked really well.
We talked about it. We had a bunch of different, we had like a straight kick. Yeah. We had like a radius and then more radius. Yeah. And we tried them all. Like, I remember going to Baker and like pulling them out of the car, and like, man, they were awesome. I was riding like such a small board. And
your board was a 48.
They were like tiny. Yeah. But I mean, I guess it was, I think it was like 120 pounds.
Had a long effective edge. I don't know if I ever rode one of yours. Maybe didn't even ride the Dow. The thing about Option was, I don't remember who was the rep before Tony Lefroy, but when Tony came in, I started getting boards. For a shop rider, like, from Option. Okay. Like for a shop rider, you had to be in tight with the rep. You know what I mean? Like to get the board. And I don't think they were giving boards in the first couple of years.
Option?
Like not to shops.
Absolutely.
No, they were really. Super cheap. Those guys were
cheap.
They were pinching. Yeah, they were pinching.
Yeah, but I mean, they made such quality boards.
Yeah.
They didn't have much markup.
No, their margins were tight. I remember that.
I mean, they spent a lot of money on boards.
Yeah.
It's like, you know.
They were furniture
it's like
makers.
wires.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Rob's making some of his boards in China, which is something I don't like to promote. But then, you know, when I was talking with
that's cool.
Andrew Burns, he said that he had a really good time riding these boards out of one Chinese factory. You probably even know what factory it is.
I'm sure that some of the factories are getting better.
It's probably the one that Rob uses anyways, yeah. I remember when I worked for K2, they went from U.S. manufacturing to China. The only thing they changed was the people who operated the presses, okay. Right? Like, they're like, we could have these, you know, workers that are up here that we're paying minimum wage, or we could pay minimum wage in China and we save $5 an hour per person or whatever.
Right.
And I don't know, man. I've always struggled with that shit, like, because everything I'm wearing is from China.
Oh yeah.
Everything I drive, my phone, the equipment we're recording on, it's all from China. But for some reason, if you make my snowboard in China, I'm like, man, no, I'm not.
That's because they use shitty glues.
Yeah, well now they
shitty woods.
Well, now they do.
I mean, we're all like privileged and get used to riding good boards.
That's true.
So when they start making like a foam core, fucking bad glues, then your 4MF falls off and you're like, what the fuck is going on? Right?
Yeah,
that's the kind of shit that happens.
Yeah,
that was not made in China.
Did you guys end up making? Where did you end up making those forum boards?
They were made in Austria.
And would you get like how involved in the process of like designing your board? Where you like start to finish, tip to tail, you're
pretty involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, cause I came from Option.
Yeah.
And I was like always hanging out with Dow, right? So
yeah.
That I just like stole ideas off Dow. Well, no, Dow handed them down to me, but you know what I mean? I was set in what I wanted to ride.
And your graphics too. I remember the Wildcat board.
Yeah.
When you first
had that,
I
got Kent to do those.
Yeah.
Like who was like from Vancouver here. And like,
yeah. That board was epic, dude.
Yeah, because it was like based off that was a college series.
Yeah.
And it was based off like, cause my like future wife was going to Michigan State at the time.
What?
So one of them was like a Spartan board, and then that was the Arizona Wildcats or whatever, right?
Yeah.
The Wildcat board?
Yeah.
So like we just stole all the logos.
No one ever got
Well,
in
no,
trouble.
I mean we did our own logos.
But they were in that style.
Like in that style.
Yeah, that's rad.
Yeah. I'm sure if you did that nowadays, you know, someone would see it on social media and you get in trouble. There was no social media back then. We could really get away with a lot of stuff.
The skateboard industry at that time was just eating itself. Remember, like all those world boards that were Powell, just like total rip-offs.
Totally.
And just like kids getting bloodied kids being murdered and shit.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was fucking crazy. I've got 1,000 more forum questions.
Yeah.
How tight was the team?
The team when we were together, we were so tight. Like everyone was at everyone's back, and like everyone was really on the same page, and we really bonded on some of those trips.
Yeah.
Where we like did the world tours of like premiering the movies.
Yeah.
Where it was like the whole team together. We're in Italy and skating, and you know, it was like there's a lot of great stuff.
That's got to be so rad to travel the world with a group of dudes.
Oh yeah.
That like you're all tight friends.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Was there anyone who was always getting shit on or butt of the joke or anything?
No, but I guess there was the one problem that we had is like JP and Jeremy didn't really party.
Okay, yeah.
And the rest of us partied.
Partied hard.
So,
that doesn't even sound like a problem though. That sounds like you got two designated
JP
drivers.
and Jeremy were they were pretty cool. They put up with a lot of crap.
Yeah. Would they?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, of course.
So, and then like after that, like, yeah, everyone else got along insane. Like, especially riding, like, You know, guys would be out. We'd be filming at, I don't know, Snowbird, Utah or whatever, and like those guys would just like, we were all trying to get a shot on a jump, and everyone would be really trying to get someone a shot, or
Yeah.
it was pretty rad.
Yeah, that sounds like amazing.
Yeah.
And then you guys would break into little crews here and there where there'd be 2 or 3 of you in a
Yeah,
given
like
zone.
if something was super good, let's say Whistler was good, like, you know, Bjorn would come up, or we definitely had tighter crews. JP was always up. And then as the team sort of evolved from Form 8 and we had other guys, you know, like Ika,
Yeah.
like we spent a lot of time together, and Lowry, those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about all the young kids. Did you spend time with Nate, Bozong?
Yeah, tons.
Yeah.
Bozong, Duff.
Oh, yeah.
Like, obviously, Vile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took me until probably this year to have all the Form 8 memorized.
Yeah.
Except for, I think the first time I was talking to you, I was like...
Well, Vile,
thinking
you always think I forget.
Yeah, Vile I forget. And Duff, I forget that he was on the original 8.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I thought he was younger. He's quite a bit younger than you, isn't he? Maybe not. He was a kid, I
turns
remember.
40 this.
Holy shit. Yeah.
Tomorrow?
Happy birthday, Duff.
2 days, on the 19th.
Nice. Oh, yeah, you guys talk on birthdays sometimes still? Or is it all Facebook or Insta messaging?
I'm supposed to go there.
Up to Kamloops.
Yeah.
His house is so nice, dude. His kids are so cute. His wife's a sweetie.
Be nice to go.
Mm-hmm. I want to have him come down for an interview during the No Show. Just because he's such a fucking fun dude to talk to.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah. Was he always that positive in snowboarding?
Yeah.
Like, always. Like,
Always.
Just happy.
Yeah.
And
he was kind of
hardworking.
scary as a kid, though. Like, he was like, I want to go bigger than, like, you know, like, he was looking at gaps that, you know, we were hitting, like, there's that 1080 gap at Brandywine.
Yeah.
He was looking at one beside it that was just ridiculous, and I actually think he tried to hit it one year with the Whiskey guys, and, like, not the Whiskey guys, but Johnson and Kearns, and
Sure. We know
I think
who
he
you
might
mean.
have died literally trying to hit it.
Oh, man.
Like, when he rode for Silence.
Oh, yeah.
He tried shit that was like...
Was
I'm like,
Silence
I'm like, can you be
after
careful,
or
please?
before?
Before.
Silence was before.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, my timeline's going to mess up on that. Because Dow was Silence as well.
Yeah.
In those days.
Yeah.
And then there was Forum.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember.
Yeah, because that's what Dow and Johnson had that good rivalry going. They had some good fisticuffs.
Did they really?
Yeah.
That's... I don't know who I'd put my money on.
Yeah, it was strange.
That would be wicked weird. Real, actual
like-
fist fights.
Yeah.
I don't know. Dow seems pretty tough, but then...
Oh, yeah, I know, but Johnson's just crazy.
But Johnson's crazy.
He's like the size of me, but, like, got a screw loose. Right? Like...
He hated doing the podcast. I didn't know, because we had a nice conversation. I put it up.
He just
and
hates
then he was
everything.
like, fucking hated that. I'm like, oh, man.
I feel
no,
like
it's
he
so cool.
secretly loves it.
Possibly.
Does that make sense?
I hope so. I really hope. You know what? Seeing him with his daughter, like
Oh, that
Sean
must have been
Johnson
nice.
with his kid, who you can just see the love in his eyes, like he loves her more than anyone in the world. That's rad.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah, that is. The big thing for me with the podcast is, you know, I'm getting to go into your guys' fucking homes, into your lives.
Right.
It's an honor. It's like, these are people that I looked up to Johnson when I lived in Ontario, dude. He was on Nitro, and he was doing switch threes it was in 89 or something. That's a long ass time ago.
Right.
He was really an influential rider for like a really long time.
Yeah.
And then seeing him when he started Stepchild, he still...
Well, what
could
was that
ride at
one board
level.
that he was riding? It had the super long nose and tail.
It's a Pyro.
Pyro.
Yeah. I had that board.
That board was so cool.
It was, you know what? It was an asymmetrical side cut too.
And he had that like back five, like with his Canada gloves on.
Yeah,
You know, in one of the intros to the MacDog movie, or maybe not the intro, but maybe a Canada part.
Yep.
Something. And
I
him
don't
and
think.
Jamie Lynn.
Yeah.
He had like the Canada gloves.
Yep.
And he had his like cap on backwards.
He was the
That was like
best.
one of my like inspirational like shots in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. This back five on this, it's like this wild hit that only forms in certain snow years on 7th Heaven. I actually hit it later and did like a late back 180 to like butt check, but
Did they use it?
No, it wasn't with anyone.
You were just there.
I just knew that he was there.
Where is it near the wind lip? Like, or sorry, but the quarter pipe thing.
It's down from the wind gates.
Yeah.
And then you would cross just under the chair. And it's like basically just below the wind gates.
Yeah.
But on the other side of the chair, off the side of a run, there's like a little bank.
How many years did you spend riding Whistler as your home mountain?
I only lived there in the summer.
Yeah, so you didn't even live there
For like a couple summers.
You bought a place up there, I remember.
But that was like kind of later.
Whose idea was that?
Kern's.
He calls you up and says, "Here, go halves with me on this."
Well, he knew the guy. He had grown up there.
Oh, sick.
Like tuning boards in the shop, and he had saw that the place was on the market.
Yeah.
Yeah, he door knocked him. He's like, "I grew up here. I knew your son. Like, if you ever want to sell it, let us know." And he's like, "Yeah, I want to sell it."
Right.
But he knew he hated realtors.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
So we just did it without a realtor.
That's fucking great.
Yeah, it was awesome. We had it forever.
That's a good move.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys rent it out as well? Like,
yeah, we did all kinds of things.
Yeah, some Whistler properties you have to do that, right? Like they can't sit.
Yeah, you don't have to though.
You don't have to, but they've encouraged you to do that or whatever.
Yeah, especially now. You'd want to rent it out.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I think Scott Surface was talking about, maybe a year ago, talking about the Airbnb thing. And they were like, holy shit, we can rent our own house out for enough money that we can go down to Vancouver for a vacation, pay for a fucking hotel. And
at a nice hotel.
Yeah, at a nice hotel. And just have a week away or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work renting shit out, though.
Not Airbnb. That app is so simple.
Yes, yeah. No.
The Airbnb app is so rad.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember at that Whistler house, I think Peter Line said he left his sled there, or you came in and told me, oh yeah, Peter Line sleds at our house, but it's buried under 4 feet of snow or something.
He left it there, and then Mike Page took it up.
Just took
Brandywine.
Yeah.
Because Peter said it was okay.
Oh, yeah.
Caught on fire and melted. Right at the bottom of 1080 gap.
Holy shit. Okay, so back on the injury with the throat, how did that impact you moving forward? Were you ever, because it didn't happen snowboarding, I guess you weren't that worried about it?
Not really.
I think a lot of snowboarders have fucking PTSD, dude. Like from some gnarly thing that they saw that's just too much. Like a friend passing away, or like having a really bad fall.
Yeah.
Breaking yourself off, trying something that you're like right at the edge, and then being expected to go back and, get better than.
I knocked my 4 front teeth out trying to front 7 off. Like Sacramento Cliff in like face. It's like, anyway, it's like up by Pemberton.
Yeah.
And it's funny. It's called face. And I knocked my teeth out. But anyway,
how'd you knock your teeth out?
I
Like
myself in the
knees?
face.
Yeah.
Like I overspun.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a funny story. Anyway.
Yeah, tell it.
Yeah, I was up there with Keir Dillon.
Yeah.
Filming for like Pulse maybe.
Cool.
And yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird filming with Keir because such a trip because it was such a weird day.
Yeah.
I remember parts of the day.
Yeah.
And then I don't remember anything. You know what I mean? Cause
yeah.
It's like basically a major concussion. So I guess I overspun right between 7 and 9. I kneed myself in the face. knock my teeth out. Pascal was filming.
Yeah.
Came up. Dana was there. They're like, "Oh, are you okay?" Like, "Whoa, you lost some teeth." Anyway, so they're like, "We better get out of here." And I was like, convinced them I was fine. So I rode my snowmobile out. I don't remember a thing.
Oh my God.
It's like a 45-minute ride out. Get down to the trucks. They didn't let me drive my truck, thank goodness. Drove in to town. We went to the doctor first off. It's just like a Sunday in Pemberton. And Dana was out in the hallway talking to the doctor, and I guess they put me in a room to wait. And I guess I knew I was fucked.
Yeah.
So they come into the room, and I'm totally buck naked, standing there. And they're like, "Oh, sir, you can put your clothes back on." But I have no recollection of this. It's just what Dan told me. But
do you think you did it to be funny, or you
no?
were
I
just
had no.
out of your
I had it on my
fucking
mind.
brain?
Like I knew
Yeah.
I needed to be checked out. Like
so, you just like
I stripped down to get in, like
Yeah.
you know, inspected.
Yeah, and they're like, "It's your teeth, bro." We
Here, it's your head and your teeth. So anyway, so then when I actually came to, there was just a light shining in my eye, and I was like, "Oh, what happened?" And then this head came in over my face, and I was like, and it was a lady, and she says, "You've lost some teeth, sir." And then I realized I was in a dentist chair.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And that's from the point I remember.
That's unfucking believable.
And I remember building the jump
Yeah.
on the cliff, and we set it back
Yeah.
like 5 or 6 feet
Yeah,
back
because
from
you're
the
figuring,
lip.
for the
So you-
speed and then
just for to catch the tranny.
To catch the tranny proper, right?
And like when I came over the lip, I must have like torqued.
Yeah.
So I'd already done a trick off it. Then I went back up, and then my wife, I called her, and I'm like, I was just about to go on this trip to California with my dad. Anyways, I called her at school, and I called her to tell her I could knock my teeth out, and I'm trying to think of how to tell you this.
Yeah.
And she starts crying, and I'm like, "Well, it's not that bad. Why are you crying?" She's like, "I'm not crying because of your teeth. This is the 6th time you've called me." I'm like, to tell me, I'm like, okay, fuck, Kearns, stop letting me call her. Anyway.
That is pretty great.
Anyways, but so I got these fake teeth.
Yeah.
And I came back, so I got fitted for these new teeth.
Yeah.
And I came back from the dentist, and they felt really big.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But they were the temporaries before I got my real one.
Yeah.
He's like, they might be a bit cumbersome. So I get home, and I'm like, I got my new teeth. And I open my mouth, and I look at Julie, and she's like, "Oh my," she was so scared of me. And I'm like, "What? They're not that bad." And they smelled like rubber. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And she's like, "You look like Mr. Ed." And I was like, "No, there's no chance." Like, and I'd only rushed to get them, so because we were driving down to California, and we were gonna stop on the way. So anyways, we get to San Francisco, and we do one of those characters.
Oh,
and I still have it to this day. And he is drawing it, and we're sitting there, we're sitting in the sun, and on the wharf in San Francisco with the Golden Gate behind us, and he turns it around, and I got these huge buck teeth, and she was like, "I told you, your teeth are fucking massive." I'm like, yeah, okay, all right, I won't fight it anymore.
I think I remember those teeth. How long did you have them for?
I don't know, a few months.
Yeah, it was a couple of months. Big teeth, big white teeth.
It's
That's
funny.
pretty great. So, yeah, I was asking, do you think that you got PTSD from any of that shit?
I don't know. No. I mean, you probably get PTSD, you blew out your knee. I find I'm more like you're standing at the drop-in and you're just thinking you're going to die. you're sitting up there and you're looking down. You know, you got like, I don't know, 20 feet to the takeoff. And it's usually like a jump off like a, you know, like Hollywood Cliffs is a perfect example. It's probably like, I don't know, 30 feet of rock, and then you're going to travel another 10 feet, maybe more, and you're like standing there and just looking at this little flat platform, and then you just see valley, and you're like, holy fuck, this is fucked up. And then you think like, you gotta change the thought, right? And I'm like, once you drop in, you'll be fine. Just fucking, once you get going, as soon as you do, you just do one turn, you got it, you know what I mean? And like, you take a couple deep breaths, and you're like, pump your hands, you fucking, you know,
Yeah.
You guys ready down there? Everyone ready? They're like, yeah, we're ready. Yeah, are you sure you're ready? Yeah, we're ready. Ready when you are. And you're like, okay, drop it in 5, 3, 2, 1. And then you know, drop the radio, and you're like, and go, and you're like, it's fucking scary as shit.
Yeah.
But as soon as you drop in and you get on the in-run, you're like, oh, fuck, I got this, you know? Like, I'm just out riding the mountain. You know what I mean?
I don't.
And then you just give her a little tug off the lip. Just grab your board, and you're like, oh, yeah, I got this. And you're like, or you don't. Right away, you know. As soon as you leave the lip and you give it a pull,
you know.
You're like, yeah, got it. And you like, maybe you'll butt check or nose roll, but
Right.
you know you'll come around at least. Or
Yeah.
sometimes you're like, not even fucking close.
Yeah,
Fuck.
yeah.
Then you start pulling.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's, you know, some mornings you just guess it wrong. But yeah, usually it's funny. The move you do on those things is you're like, it's a big jump. I don't need to spin that fast. But you pretty much gotta pull off of everything. Like, you gotta pull right into a 5, and then slow it down at the end.
Right.
You can't just pull off like, oh, I'll do 3 and then I'll get the next bit around once I see how big it is. You're never gonna make it. You know what I mean?
I mean, I understand the words you're saying.
Yeah.
But that's not the experience I have when I...
Yeah, it's funny. It's interesting.
I built a jump this year that was scary for me, where, it's just a wedge off of... It was probably a 10-foot cliff.
Right.
But because of the perspective, when you're standing on top, it looks like you're going to jump into Nowheresville.
Totally.
Like, there's like a visual thing that you see so far down the valley that you just go like, I can't jump that big.
Oh, yeah.
And then you put a track in it and you go, oh, fuck, okay, duh.
Yeah.
That's all it was. But, yeah, no, I definitely, none of the hooking off the thing. I'm constantly, like, on a big park jump, I definitely know that moment once you get in the air, you know whether you're doing it or you fucked up.
Yeah.
Because coming off that lip is... You know, for me, probably a lot more than you. Like, anything could happen. I could be in control, and I could be feeling good.
Yeah.
Or I could really...
It happens to everyone, I think.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that, like...
It's probably just less percentage.
I would
but
say
there's
so.
a lot of times when you get thrown, and you're like, okay, this is probably not going to work out very good. Go limp. That's my move. Go limp. So what else you got? What other forum questions?
Let's think forum stuff. Well, obviously, there had to be some sort of pay discrepancy between the lowest guy on the totem pole and the highest guy. Did you guys discuss your stuff between each other?
No.
Nobody knew. No one knew what anyone else was making. But you could guess, right? Like, you could guess certain people are going to be...
Yeah, I'm sure.
Keen negotiators or are just had a reputation in the industry as like, oh fuck, it's Peter Line, of course he's gonna...
Well, I mean, you would hope. I mean, Peter was like fucking, you know, like Valtron's head, you know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
Or whatever the guy is you put together, like...
Yeah.
He was like the Lord.
Yeah, he was...
I mean, he fuck, you'd go somewhere and it was like, some of the tricks he could do, it was like mind-boggling.
Rad.
Like he was on another level.
Yeah, he gets mentioned a lot as in that Jamie Lynn, Peter Line, kind of like Pacific Northwest. Those guys both mentioned you, which I think that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, he's just like he just has like another level. Like I was different. I could just land big stuff. You know, I could just go big and I do, but he could do like the flips and the twists and like that backside rodeo 7, like that only he could do forever.
Yeah, because he invented it.
But he was the only one who could do it right.
Right.
Forever.
Right.
Till like Travis Kennedy maybe, and then now every kid can do it right.
Right.
But everyone else flipped it where he rolled it, and it was like, how come he can do it different?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he did stuff different.
Totally.
Like no one else had it. He won like every X game under the moon.
Yeah.
For a while because he was the only one who could do the trick. Like Sansalon did, flipped. Like.
And it was backwards.
Yeah, it just wasn't the same.
No.
His were like those rolly ones. It was like incredible. Or he could just do that cab 9 and like tuck in at the end. Like he just did stuff that other people didn't do. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
And like JP just like, yeah, he was a heavy negotiator, so you knew he was.
Well, he's also an incredibly talented snowboarder.
Well, that too.
Right, but yeah, he was a heavy negotiator for sure.
Insanely. Yeah, he's like Voltron's neck. It's the neck's most important piece.
So who are you? You're the heart?
I don't know.
I honestly think, I know for a fact that you're the most impactful Canadian snowboarder of all time. But you're up there with the most impactful snowboarder of all time. Like, it doesn't matter who's talking snowboarding. When they start talking about, like, people that they look up to. Like, I can remember you telling me about Jamie Lynn when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Like, Jamie was a big influence on everybody. For sure. But I think you took, like, that style. Like, I think if you and Jamie were standing next to each other when you were at that age, you're about the same dimensions, same guys.
Yeah, I think he's a lot stockier, though.
You were pretty stocky there for a bit. That's what I wanted to ask you about, was your training and stuff. And, like, I never thought about it, but when you started getting paid by Forum, stuff like casual skating, and some of your friends where you're like, okay, buddy, like, I'd love to party again tonight, but...
Yeah, I mean, you have to get a bit serious at some point, especially if you're, like, I think for me, like, I started to realize, like, it was a path to destruction. It also helped, like, meeting my wife.
Right.
Or future wife, like...
Sure.
And she was off at school, so it was nice to focus, but that, like... I think I was at, like, a golf tournament somewhere, and I met this guy, and he's like, dude, look at you. You're a pro snowboarder? Look at your posture. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, look at your posture. You have terrible posture. And he's like,
wow.
He's like, how do you spin? I'm like, I show him. He's like, come in and see me. And that's when I realized, like, wow, I'm weak. I need to be stronger.
Right.
So then that turned into being my trainer for years.
Oh, that's incredible.
Like years and years and years.
And so, was that something that anyone had told you, like, okay, with this money, with this contract also, you need to have a trainer?
I had stopped skateboarding a ton because it was not... I mean, I skateboarded lots, but I also, like, started to, like, golf a lot just to...
Right.
So it was taking up a lot of my time.
Okay, so it wasn't just, like, I might get hurt.
It was also because, like, you might get hurt, yeah.
A little bit. I never even thought of that.
You don't want to fucking break your ankle.
Right.
Skating.
Yeah, that's a long injury.
You were encouraged to skate a bit when you were on Forum.
Yeah.
But then the pay got pretty serious, so it was like, should probably not get hurt.
So you started taking the job more serious with the money,
sure.
you think?
For sure.
Because
there was a time when I first signed the real big contract and I was out riding and I had a bad day, and like, it's kind of weird how it works with snowboarding. You get down on yourself and then you start to really not land. And then you come out the next day and you don't land again, and then you start to like really start to like doubt, you know, and you like you are like just looking for anything. And like you'll have days in a row, and like that. I started off like that after signing a really big contract. Starting the year, and I was like, this is fuck. Like, it's really, the pressure mounted so hard that I had like a super low point where I was like, this is like, I don't know if I can do this.
That was right after you signed the big contract.
Yeah.
That's so fucking interesting.
And I was like, I don't know if I can do this because it was just too much.
What snapped you out of it?
I mean, you just go out and you put down a good day, and all of a sudden you're like, yes, there it is.
Yeah.
You know, and it's probably like, Sean was like, Kearns was such a good motivator for that kind of stuff. It's like, he probably slapped me in the face and was like, snap out of it, dude. Like,
yeah, stop.
Everyone,
yeah.
Like, look what you're trying. Yeah, you know.
You were just being too hard on yourself for whatever reason.
It's like, it's not like you're just trying to do a backside air on the hit run, you know. You're
right.
So, but then you know, and then there's days where you like can't miss.
Yeah. Well,
and then like weeks where you're just out there and you're like putting down everything. And it's like,
that's sick.
It just happens.
You kind of had that right from the beginning, like as an older snowboarder at the time when you got on Never. It was like, you could probably go to Burton. Like, I remember maybe saying that to you in the beginning. Like, you don't have to be on Never, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be on Duratec. And then you were like, I like Duratec.
Yeah.
I like Never.
I always thought Burton was like a sellout company.
Isn't that crazy?
Even though I grew up like loving Craig Kelly in the Burton movies.
Same. I don't know that I ever thought it was a sellout company, only because I didn't have the opportunity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's a completely different deal.
It's just so corporate, where I would just love skateboarding.
Yeah.
I want to be a pro skater.
Yeah.
Burton wasn't pro skate material.
You probably could have had a fucking crazy lucrative career with them, though.
When Burton bought for him, it was right after that. They bailed him out. I had a great year in that. And my contract was coming up for negotiation. I went and met with Jake Burton.
Yeah.
Did I tell you this story?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, I don't think wasn't a great meeting.
Right.
He just was worried about when he wanted to go snowboard. He didn't even have the time of day for me.
Yeah, but that's kind of cool though. Like, right, compared to like, if you think of it from that point of view versus like some skater who's never snowboarded before, who's like, you know, here's a check, dude. You're the best. Whereas Jake's like, fucking, he didn't invite you to go snowboarding. That's maybe why.
Like, he didn't.
Yeah.
Which is weird, right?
That's stupid. That's like a bad move on his part.
Let's go ride the lifts and talk about it.
Yeah, why are we even in this room? Like, fuck, there's good snow. Let's go ride. And thank you for driving that far. That was the thing that you were, like, you had made.
Oh, yeah, like you drove there an hour.
Yeah.
I was hungover.
And legend has it you don't get hungover.
No. I didn't really.
Yeah, you were a pretty good drinker from all accounts. Everybody was like, we worried about other people being like hungover or whatever, but we never worried about Devun. Nobody ever said, Devun, you know, slow the fuck down, dude. You're not going to be able to get up tomorrow. Yeah. And you always made it. And then you land your tracks.
Well, you know, I remember that movie when I'm like, dog.
Yeah, who could forget?
That night I snuck out because I wasn't allowed to go because I had a contest the next day.
Yeah.
The next day I missed the landing and broke my foot.
Oh, fuck. From that deluxe pizza night.
Yeah.
That's pretty great.
I was so drunk I couldn't even play ping pong. I remember that. I went to I was like, whoa, what's this game? Ping pong. And then someone was like hitting the ball at me and I just swiped and be like, whoa, you're supposed to hit the ball?
I mean, ping pong's pretty tough even if you had a couple of beers, I think.
Yeah, it is. I have a table. It's not that tough.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Can I have a wine break?
Yeah, grab it. I think a lot of the Forum 8 had to quit most companies, right?
Yeah, we did.
Forum boots and Forum...
Circus shoes, we said everything.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Everything Forum. Special blender, Foursquare.
How did you negotiate that you got to keep
well, they stopped paying us. Like shit at the fan. They were running out of money.
Oh, fuck.
That's how Burton ended up buying them, right?
Right.
So, like, they had like, owed me all this back pay. My agent was like, can we go and get another sponsor now? They're like, Devun has to pay his mortgage. And they're like, yeah, okay, you can go to DC.
Whoa.
So I did. And I was going back to DC at that time.
Yeah.
Because I was already on them and they had made me quit.
Yeah.
And then I went back and then it just all got great after that.
Yeah, no shit, hey? Did you ever have any sponsors that you were not proud of as far as... Like, did anyone contact you from, like, some weird thing in Japan or something where they're like, it's only going to be in Japan?
I mean, I don't know. Like, when I was a kid, I wrote for Rave Snowboard Shop, but it didn't actually work out.
That was before Boardroom, or was that after? Because you went to Division. I wanted to talk about Division. Remember how cool those fucking shops were?
Yeah.
Like, working at the Boardroom, I was envious. I was like...
Peter Sullivan.
Yeah.
Guilted me into going riding there.
Really? How did he do that?
He just kept harassing me. I was like, alright, okay.
They had a shop in North Van. It was sick.
And then he tried to just guilt me into going on to RDS, and I never went for it.
Really?
It's funny.
Well, you got a shop sponsor from the States at some point. Down...
Yeah, I was on, like... Was I on there? Oh, Hot Skates.
Hot Skates, yeah.
Yeah, Rudy. It's my golfing buddy.
Oh, rad.
So it was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, because Division, I can remember being like...
That was back in the day when they had, like, big, like Brian Thien and...
Yeah.
They'd have all these guys from all over.
That's just random.
I was like, yeah, I would love to ride for you guys.
That's fucking rad.
Skateboards.
They'd send you
Basically,
stuff.
Skateboard Connect.
Yeah.
I mean, but now I ride for the Source, and it's in Calgary, and...
How did that happen? You just see Dave?
Oh, Mark is just so amazing.
Yeah.
And Dave, but I'm just a big fan of Mark.
Yeah, rad.
Yeah. Those guys are just awesome guys. And they've always, like, been, like, friends of mine, so...
That's
and always, like, really, like, had my back, I guess, is the way to say it.
Yeah, I forget who was talking about it. They bought somebody a sled. Was that you?
Mm-hmm.
God damn.
And Kale, I think.
It was Kale.
Me and Kale.
Yeah, Kale told me the story.
Yeah.
That they were maybe even a little tipsy when they said, we'll get you guys sleds or whatever. But they followed up on it.
Oh, yeah.
That's fucking rad. Those guys are dope.
I still have that sled.
Really?
Yeah.
How many sleds do you own?
Just that one.
What?
Yeah.
Your sled is old?
Like 2014 or something.
No, it's not too old. That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, were you...
It might be a 2010, I don't know.
When you started sledding, would you upgrade your sled every year? Is that something?
Every 2 years.
Every 2 years. And would your sled sell for more because it had been yours? Some like...
I don't know, I just traded it in.
You traded in and they'd probably say, this was Devun Walsh's sled.
Probably not.
You don't think?
No.
Oh, give me a break. No, for sure.
For sure not.
Well, I guess actually people who have sleds are pretty...
You know Al Bush from Pemberton? The shop, the skidoo dealer?
No.
He for sure didn't give a shit.
No, man.
No.
That's...
For sure he didn't care.
Yeah.
I should stop in and see him, actually. I can't miss that guy.
Well, let's talk social media, because that's something that you're big on. That's something that
I love social media.
I'm trying to get the fuck away from it myself.
I hate it.
No, you love it. You hate it? You love it.
I hate it.
It's.
I'm not a social media person.
You know, we talked about this off mic about how fucking trippy it is feeling responsible for somebody else's feelings. Like if you see their post and you don't like it, and then you think, did they somehow know that I saw it and didn't like it? Like, I don't want people to think I don't like their shit, but I can't like everything that they do or whatever. Kearns calls it like the ultimate poser, but he's like, poser is like the worst insult that you could have if you were a skateboarder.
So what a poser, like if you're putting up social media stuff?
He says that just social media is just all posing. The whole thing is posing.
Well, it's always like only showing your eyes.
That's true, right? And even sometimes it's showing like...
It's like, hey, check out my new whip.
Yeah.
It's like posing.
Yeah, it's posing, yeah. But
it's showing off.
Yeah,
mainly.
It's bragging.
And it always usually makes someone feel bad.
I think you're right.
But I like how, you look on it and you're like, what? Those guys went there? Why didn't they ask me to go?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
no, absolutely.
Like, I think it's stupid.
Right. It's stupid, but it means so much to so many people. That's the weirdest part. And on top of it being stupid, I probably, if I look at my phone and do today, how much did I look at it? 3 hours and 40 minutes on my phone. An hour and 40 minutes of social networking.
Right.
If you would have asked me, I think I would have said 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know when I did that. And that's today's, like, it was raining out. Like, when it's raining, I can't use my phone out in the rain, That's fucked up.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Like, think about that. Like, if I watched an hour and 40 minutes of TV today, I'd be like, oh.
Yeah.
So much TV. But social media, it didn't even register on my thing. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Kern says just get off it, and I'm like, yeah, it's not that easy, buddy. What are you doing? You're crazy bored. No, it's not even that.
I'm trying to read the news. I'm crazy.
Oh, good. Is it any better?
No.
This sucks.
Read a book.
That's boring, too.
Watch golf.
I think go out and actually do a thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't... Yeah, I'm trying not to... Yeah, trying to do something else.
When you have kids, it's there's all these moments.
I'm not finding enough time
for
social media, and I'm just not good at it.
Oh, you're good at it. Is it a part of your contract with DC? You don't have to answer that.
No, but I'm sure it's... Yeah, I mean, you gotta do posts and all that crap.
Or else they're like...
I mean, that's just how the snowboard world works, right?
You know what? You were there for the transition from video parts to, like, I think some of those DC posts were some of the first ones where it was like, okay, this is this year's shit.
Mm.
I remember looking at it going, what are they going to put in a video then?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah.
And how did that, were you conscious at the time? Because that's your job for, had been your job for 20 years.
Well, I mean, Ika did that thing with, like, polar opposites.
Yeah.
Which was, like...
I think that was the first one.
Yeah.
This is what we did last week, or whatever it was.
Exactly. And then everyone went and hit our jumps. That we went back to rebate. We're like, how do they know? Oh, yeah, right.
Really? That happened?
I was like, fuck.
They saw it. They saw they were built. They saw they were good. They went there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely...
It's fun going in a two-man crew like that, though.
Yeah.
Just the two of us.
Who was filming?
Anthony Vitelli.
Oh, I love that guy.
Mm-hmm.
I met him back in Ontario when he was like a kid.
Yeah.
He was on YTV. Like YTV.
Yeah.
Like they had like a commercial where he was lying in bed and his mom yelled like, Anthony, it's time to get up. And he's like dreaming of himself snowboarding. He was riding that Santa Cruz Tau or something.
Oh, yeah.
You had some shots on that.
Yeah. Love that word.
Really? It's too stiff. You were fine with it.
I don't know. Who knew better? No high backs. Too stiff.
It was just a cool ass board.
Yeah, I usually didn't really love it, but I made it work.
I love that. That's amazing.
I just remember like dropping in pipes and edging and being like,
Yeah, that would have been when you were competing in half pipe more too, huh? How long did you compete in half pipe until? Like, what sponsor did you stop?
Boardroom.
Yeah, so like LibTech boards and shit.
West Beach kind of days.
Yeah, people have mentioned that you competed in the West Beach. Everybody would go in the West Beach.
Oh, yeah.
That was one of the last big contests that was at Whistler that was legit, huh?
It's true, right?
It was an event. Like, it was like you had to go to that. Like the Baker Bank Slalom. Did you ever compete at Bank Slalom? Did you go to Mount Baker?
Yeah, but only this year, though. Not this year, but...
Like the one that just passed?
Like 3 previous years.
Like, yeah.
I never went when I was younger. Always meant to go and then just never went.
I got in this year.
For this year coming up?
Uh-huh.
It's so fucking hard.
Really?
You're ripping down, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna be so fast.
Yeah.
This is insane. Like,
yeah.
And then you get to the bottom and you like truck through the gate and you're like, fuck yeah, what's my time? Oh yeah. Then you look on the board and you're like, I'm second to last. How is that fucking possible?
No.
I would be 5th to last in the women's amateur division. Wow. I'm so fucking slow. I don't know if that's a chauvinistic thing to say, but I just mean like, I'm fucking, you think you're supposed to be hot shit, and then you go there and you're like, I can barely snowboard.
I think that's, no, I don't think that's
I did better this year. I almost made it to Sunday.
Right. You got like 11th or whatever? 14th. That's crazy awesome.
I think they took, it was like 21. I think they took 10 or 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in a tight group of people too, like that.
Well, I switched out of the pro men.
What did you switch to?
I don't know. Like,
men's masters?
Yeah, something like that.
Fuck, I'm going in pro men's masters.
That's what I was in.
Oh, okay. Oh, you switched out of the one that Terrier stayed in because he wants to win the real deal if he wins.
He's in like pro men.
He's in like straight up pro men. Yeah. Whereas pro men
where
masters.
He should be.
Yeah.
I mean, he's fast.
Yeah.
You know what made a big difference though? The previous 2 years, the boards I rode didn't really work. This year, my board worked a lot better, but I did not wax worth shit.
No, that's a fucking...
And it was like a problem at the bottom where it got really flat.
Yeah.
I was going over bumps and I'm like,
yeah.
What is going on? I'm like, but the 2 years before, I was tired. I had nothing. I was the course rode me. This year I was lifting up, pumping the bumps,
sick.
I was I had it. And then my board, as soon as I got to the flat sections where you need to be I had nothing. So I come around the last bend, stop, and the guys who were fast coming behind me were coming through and having to put on the brakes because they were gonna hit the other, and I had none of that speed. So that's where I could really tell wax is a major important thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Guys take it serious.
Guys take it serious.
I would say 90% take it really serious.
I'm just excited.
I'm sure someone who Terry could go with a fucking riding on a 2x4 with no wax and probably compete, but
oh, I know he takes his wax serious.
Yeah, he does. I know.
He does. Yeah. Have you gone on trips with him at all before? You guys have never been on a team together.
No, but I mean we've seen him at in Fernie or had some snowboarding event stuff with him.
How often you go there? Have you been going there for a long time?
I was going there for a while for that Greg Todd's thing.
Oh, you went for those?
Yeah.
And so you would see him there too?
Yeah.
That looks like a really fun event, the year that Trevor did it, and Trevor, Andrew was DJing, and everybody was just
so fun.
Yeah?
Some good stuff.
It's a far drive, dude. 10 hours.
So worth it. So fun.
Yeah. I went catboarding there with Al.
Then the riding there, just the sled drops, is insane.
It's unbelievable like how much snow there is and how steep it is.
Yeah. So good.
There's really...
And you're in those tight trees, so you know nothing's sliding.
Yeah.
You're just like so comfortable.
You
go to the Alpine?
Yeah.
It's another story.
I don't think they ever took us to the Alpine.
It's scary.
Yeah.
I went up there, looked at it, I was like, no fucking thank you. Like, absolutely not. Like, it might be sunny tomorrow. I'm like, nope. I don't need that. Like, I don't think, like your life isn't worth it.
Right.
For what? Like a pow turn?
Yeah, and big wide open.
Cliff?
Yeah, big wide open's not as much fun as trees anyways.
Well, there was like some cliff like stuff.
Yeah.
Some rad terrain.
Yeah.
For sure some rad, I'm thinking in my head like some rad sending areas.
Yeah.
But it's just like so scary looking.
Yeah. How safe are you out there? Have you always been pretty safe?
I just don't think it's worth risking your life over.
Right.
I just don't think it is.
So you're not riding 100 centimeter storm slab like while it's still snowing?
No.
You're not hungry for...
Inbounds, maybe.
Yeah. Unreal.
I just don't think it's worth your life. I don't know.
Yeah. Most of my backcountry awareness comes from, going out when it was dodgy and then go, okay, now, I get it now. So you gotta wait.
Right.
But then I could see like idiots going, because I was one of those idiots where you go before it's ready, then you ruin it for everybody.
I don't realize how, like even in the smallest little zone, how much snow can move to bury you.
Yeah. It doesn't take much.
No.
Yeah. It doesn't take much. It just makes a terrain trap, right? Like where all the snow just goes, funnels right there.
Right.
Could be a small feature.
Totally.
And
you hook your nose, go down face first.
Oh.
All slides falls on you.
Tree wells. Tree wells are insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the trees are loaded with the snow that's going to bury you.
Totally.
You fall in head first. I've done it before at Cypress, like up the side of a run, where I'm like, that could have been like insane.
Absolutely.
What the fuck? How's your wife with the? I mean, your track record is fucking impeccable, right? Like you're not.
It's not good. It's not good.
Does she hate it?
She hates it. It's too scary.
You guys do the family thing together now up there? You take the kids a few times a year?
Yeah, it's fun.
Do they know what you do?
Yeah.
Like when you go to school?
Yeah, they lived it up for a while.
Yeah.
For a couple of years.
Yeah. That's pretty rad.
Yeah.
I love that. They're proud of their dad kind of thing.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's fucking rad.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny.
How long have you been like the primary parent, caregiver, kid taker, carer of her?
You mean like the stay-at-home dad style?
Yeah.
I'd say we kind of like traded off, where when I was home, I would just do as much as I could, and then as soon as I travel, Julia could handle it,
Yeah.
And then once I stopped traveling, which because for years I traveled, just chase the snow.
Just nuts.
And then once I stopped traveling a lot, then. But I feel like what happened is I got paid like danger pay.
Yeah.
And then you got paid almost danger pay.
Yep.
And then you got paid just enough to go on a few trips. To justify the kind of snowboarding. And then, that's the way I looked at it. Is like, I got a shit ton of danger pay for a long time of year. So it was like, I was like doing reckless stuff. Whatever it was, but it's more like big gaps and stuff,
Yeah.
So it was like, but I just tried to err on the right side. But I think like once I stopped getting the danger pay, I was like, I'm not really getting paid to like, I bust my teeth out.
Sure.
It's not. That's probably also age too and smartness.
Yeah.
Whereas like when you're 20 and you're like, fuck, I'm making $2,000. Fuck. Yeah.
I'll do anything.
Send it. I'll gap out to that rail.
Yeah, that's amazing.
You know what I mean?
I totally do. That's one of the things that's amazing about your career is that you did it for so long without, I don't know, suffering major burnout.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Well, it's pretty fun.
yeah.
And like, stop going to Hood. Stop going to Blackcomb in the summer.
Yeah.
You gotta stop doing that.
Take your breaks.
You know, yeah, I went to New Zealand for ages.
Yeah.
Like every year.
Totally.
And then it got to the point where I was just bringing my golf clubs because it seemed to stop snowing there.
Yeah.
So then we started going to like Chile. So like then you get a bit of powder. But like, and then you know, you stop going on the shitty days. It's not nice out, I'm not going to go anymore.
Right. Whereas when you were a kid, you'd go every day.
Yeah, and then it's like, and then now recently it's like, I'm only going on the sunny days. Well, guess what? There's not a lot of fucking sunny days. Like for filming, it turned into like almost none.
Right.
It's crazy. I tried to just go sunny days.
Yeah.
The last couple of years for filming backcountry.
Yeah.
I didn't go. It's crazy.
Yeah. No. I've talked about it on the show. Like,
It's fucked.
if you actually only go
On sunny days?
on a sunny day where it's PAL, like where it's good.
Yeah, Bluebird. Sunny day.
Yeah.
They don't seem to happen around here.
Couple of days a year. You can
So,
go a
like-
whole season with
so-
one or two.
So like now, I realized we went on a lot of days where it was like a maybe day.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, it broke. But I'm so solar powered, I don't know how I survived. Anyway.
How was the, I know we've talked about this, the pressure to put together a better part. Like, because 98, 99 was such a big snow year here. I think 99, 2000 was kind of a shit year. You know, the difference between having all the days, having all the snow, having good snow all over the place. Then you film this great part, and everybody's like, oh, it's your best part ever. That's so amazing. Looking forward to what you got next year.
Yeah.
And then the next year, it's like...
Well, that happened with video gangs.
Yeah.
They wanted to film this big movie.
Yeah.
And we had the worst snow year, like, all over the world.
Right.
And we traveled so much.
Right.
And we ended up having to make it like a 2-year project.
Right. That's what ends up happening, right?
There's so much money invested in it.
Yeah.
Johnson made it.
Johnson,
Like,
yeah.
that guy's just got bad fucking luck.
He seems a little grumpy. People who know him love him, obviously.
Oh, yeah, of course, but he just got bad luck.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, because, you know, Kearns makes a movie and, like, it's the best snow year in the history of snow. And
Still, till now, there's never been a year like that.
yeah,
Ever.
no, it's like, just like every time Kearns touches something, it's like, it turns to gold. And, like, Johnson, like, tries once to make a foreign movie, and it's like, there's no snow. It was Johnson's fault. Shitty movie, Johnson's fault. There was not even any snow the next year. The next year sucked too. But we just filmed for 2 years, we had to put something out.
Yeah. Video Gangs was good, man. People love it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, it wasn't
easy.
It wasn't the movie. What came after that? Was it that? No, that was before it.
That was the year before it, right?
That?
And the Video Gangs?
I don't know. Yeah, before.
Somebody's shouting at the thing. Yeah, that's right. And that was a Kearns deal.
Yeah, because then there was like Travis Kennedy and all those guys were in the video games.
You know when...
Yeah, it was like Eddie Wall and...
Kearns was telling me with that, he was so scared. He didn't know. He was like second guessing himself. He's like, I don't know if we did it or not. You know what I mean? Like he couldn't tell.
Right.
He was definitely having like one of those crisis of heart moments. But then it came out and everybody loved it.
Right.
And it's one of the best movies you've ever been in. Like your part in that is insane.
For sure. I remember the premiere.
Yeah.
He was out of his head.
Out of his head, right.
Tearing up $20 bills out of the limo roof.
Yeah, the sunroof.
Sunroof. Tearing up 20s. That was his move back in the day.
Tearing up 20s.
Probably tore up, $500.
Unfucking believable, that guy.
I was thinking in my head, I'll take that.
Yeah, I would have
like that.
Take that. I'll tape it back together, man. How much partying for the forum guys compared to how much snowboarding? Because a big part of the team was being on those trips, like going and premiering movies. And
how much
wild.
partying was there?
Yeah, like if you go 50-50 partying, riding, or was it like business up front and partying back?
It got a little looser. Started out like pretty focused snowboarding.
Yeah.
You know, when I first got on, we were like at X Games, and like when we weren't there, we were like home and filming like Ross Steffi, Mac Dog, fucking on the road. You were like Kurt Heine with them filming in like Yellowstone or Utah, and there was no partying.
Right.
And then it got to the point where you were like on trips. Trying to think, like more with the team managers. We didn't really party much in the forum days unless we were on the premiere tour. The premiere tour got like, you got sore livers.
Got loose.
You got sore livers after those trips. It was like a 2 week of, you travel around, you spend so much time on the bus or whatever, driving around, and then, you know, you get hammered and you wake up hungover, and then you gotta go and like put on the happy face and like sign autographs at a shop.
Right.
For fucking hours.
Yeah.
Go to a premiere, sign autographs there in the lobby, and then go in and watch the movie, and then you gotta stand at the bar and field questions all night.
Yeah.
Fuck, it's hard not to get drunk, because I was like to JP, like, I don't know how you do it. Like, it's just like, I get bored about talking about what we did this year and just riding with you faggots. And
well, mostly too, because it's like kooky fans like me coming up going,
yeah,
I saw
exactly.
a picture of you one time.
This one time you came into the boardroom and you were like,
I remember. I still remember.
No, but like, yeah, I mean, you know, like, it just helps to be a bit drunk that you really want to like sit there and bullshit with everyone.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
I saw it with Brian Iguchi. He went to that Union movie a couple of years ago. It was up here. He did the premiere, and I interviewed him before it. No drinks in him, you know, very sober. You know, he's like low key. Yeah, you know, okay. After the premiere, he had, you know, 12
Super
beers or something.
chatty, yeah.
Oh yeah, he was just ready to throw his arm around you. Hey man, good to see you again. He's like ready to go, because that's just how you feel after. I don't know. I just said he had 12 beers. He probably had 3. Who knows?
But yeah, I know what you mean. You just. But yeah, like, though, he definitely had to party a lot on the trips.
Yeah.
You know, and like they were always big world tours. So, but I mean, the filming, everyone was pretty stringent. Started to get a bit looser now, I think, like with the DC party trips. But I mean, like,
yeah,
you know, if we're even now filming and it's all like serious hiking POW trip, you know, everyone's within you know, we have a beer or two at dinner and that's it.
Yeah. Do you get your own room now, or is it gone back to like you're sharing a room with somebody?
Yeah, usually sharing, you know. I think we've always been sharing.
Even in the forum days, you guys they'd be like, all right, you're bunking with.
You're always sharing with someone.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
There was no prima donnas that were like, I need more.
No, I mean, unless someone had like a girlfriend with them. Or,
oh, yeah, you could bring your
like
girl.
Peter, I remember,
yeah,
he got like a groupie once on one of the trips.
Yeah.
In Europe, and he like would disappear to the bedroom.
He'd kick somebody out?
No, he had his own room, and like, he'd come down to the bus.
Yeah.
And near the end of the trip, he started to look like, you know, like, what's the movie Interview with a Vampire?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And like, you know, he looks so like sapped of his energy. And he would go to the back of the bus, and him and this girl, like, it literally looked like she was drinking his blood every night. God. Like, I was like, fuck, is Pete okay? Like, he was starting to get really white, and like,
oh wow.
I'm like, how much semen is he losing every day? Is that what happens to you? Like, I'm like, maybe I need that to happen, you know. But it was pretty rad times though, because like we had a really good group of guys that had girlfriends. Yeah. Like Ruff had a very serious girlfriend. Yeah. Bjorn, Eddie. Like everyone had all these girlfriends, so we'd just like get drunk and hang in a tight crew. Yeah. And we'd just be like a dude crew. It was awesome. Right. Like you never did anything bad. You know what? It's like, it was awesome. You go drinking, you'd post up at the bar with your team. Yeah. Some people would come in and chat to you and they'd leave. Yeah. People would come in and chat to you. Like a girl would come in and be like, you should go talk to Nate. He's single. She'd be like, yeah, okay. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, man. Totally. It was awesome time. Yeah, I think a lot of people would imagine you guys were just it was really going around meeting chicks and groupies everywhere, but dude, it was never like that. It was pretty rad. It's so funny when you were talking about it at the top of Seymour. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. What are you talking about? You're like going for months without girlfriends before you met your wife. Yeah. I always had a girlfriend. Mm-hmm. Always. Mm. I don't know what's wrong with me. Serial monogamist, they call it. It's just comfortable. Yeah. I'm the same, man. I've always been the same. Serial monogamous. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, to be the rock star status you guys were, fuck. You just think that you're out there 10 chicks every night. Yeah. You would think that. Yeah. Did you ever win the X Games? What are the biggest contests you won? You know what's funny? I've had like the run of my life at X Games. Yeah. Early X Games. Yeah. And as I was coming in the last jump, I'm like, I just need to land this basic trick. Definitely gonna be podium. Yeah. Butt check. Oh, got fourth. Oh no. Yeah. Got fourth in big air too. Yeah, no way. Fuck, I just like a choker. Serial choker. At contests. That was your move. Was to choke it. Those contests must have been fucking nerve-wracking. I think the best I ever did, like, a really good, like, Cab 7 rodeo. Yeah. Like an MTV award, and it was winner take all. Oh, nice. And I got second. No. Like, that's, like... No. That's, like, you know, and it's like... Any other contest I've been to, a big air contest. Yeah. It's like you get placed up to third. Yeah. Of course. It's like the only time I ever pulled it off. That's unbelievable. It's like, just like that's... There was a time in there where you were flip spinning a lot. Yeah, yeah. That was sick. Yeah. You always had a pretty easy time, it looked like, from the outside. Like learning tricks and shit. I mean, I think you just chuck it over the best. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I don't think that works for everybody. Well, we have trampolines and stuff, you know. Yeah, yeah. Most people. Sluggo was one of the first guys that was just like, he says it in his interview. He's like, I wasn't very good. I wasn't a good snowboarder, man. I get me in the air, I can do it. I can get the photo. Mm. But he was... Like you. No, same. Yeah, it's an easy... That's the easy gig. Get me in the air. Get me in the air. Boom. Tell me where you're going to point your thing and I'll jump as high as I can. I'll grab my board. Poke it out. That's all. Might land on my stomach. But... You need to take it when I'm in the air, you know? Yeah. Maybe get your camera just above the lip of the jump so I'm just in the air. You don't need to see how small it is. That's the 90s. That was the 90s. You could do whatever you want. Totally. You just had to be able to talk. Talk the walk? Talk the talk, and then nobody could go out there with you anyways. Anyone you're negotiating a contract with, they're not coming out to see what you're doing. It's true. Or if they were on the hill, you Tony Bialis from Shorties, he came out. Nice. He's an avid snowboarder. What? Really? So he'd come out and he'd film. 16 mil.
Oh, he filmed.
Jeff Moore was our filmer.
Jeff Moore from North End.
And then Derek Catella too.
Oh, that's fucking cool. Yeah, Jeff Moore, like
Because he
L
filmed
Furniture.
for Whiskey a bit too, yeah.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. He was pretty quiet, dude. Did you ride with him back in the day, like when he was actually
Yeah.
like riding a
Green
lot?
Tick Posse with Sansalon.
Yeah.
He was the main mean dude
He was the mean guy.
of like Swaro and Kevin.
Yeah.
Jeff Moore was the mean dude of the bunch.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Because he's the nicest guy. I mean, he is now.
Is he?
Oh, he's so nice.
I
He's
know,
a big
yeah.
teddy bear. Yeah.
Yeah, he's so nice. I love him.
Yeah. All right, what do you got? You got any questions for me?
I don't know. Is there anything we didn't touch on?
Everything. We talk snowboarding the whole time, so that's good. The last few interviews I've done, we just talk about parenting and parenting mostly.
Really? That's boring.
Mental health, dumb shit.
Really? I think I'm not listening to the podcast.
Yeah, no, don't listen, man. It's boring.
Who's that with?
It's I just did one with Tyler Lepore for a couple of hours where we mostly talked dad stuff.
Mental health?
No,
Parenting.
mental health with Kearns a little bit.
Oh, okay.
While I'm on drugs, he gets you high on drugs, and then we talk about whatever. Holy shit, dude!
Nice. That's good.
That guy's good. Yeah, who did I talked all skateboarding with Sluggo.
Okay.
We talked about snowboarding for about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Because, you know.
Yeah, it was part of his life.
It was a huge part of his life. I think he jumped onto, he got onto World because the package deal, like snowboarder.
Was that how he got on World from Real?
Yeah, was that Rocco called him directly and was like, I'll put you in charge of snowboarding, plus you'll be on the skate team, obviously. And he was like, yeah, sounds good. It's good money.
Yeah.
It was a good company. That was a good time for that company, too.
Yeah,
actually.
I like that company.
I liked Division 23 when Sluggo was on it, and I forgot that he was on there.
Was that after World?
No, it was before. He had I think that Devil board was on Division 23.
So he had a pro model.
Isn't that fucked up, right? Like, no offense to him, he would say it himself. He just wasn't that good of a snowboarder.
Well, it's like Steve Blakely having one.
Yeah, he was from New York, and I don't know what he did. He had awesome pro models, though. Those graphics were fucking incredible.
Awesome.
The best.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted that board.
It's funny, right?
Yeah.
He was like a rock star without snowboarding.
I don't know that I ever saw him snowboard.
I think he had one ad once, didn't he?
I've seen the ads. I saw he had 2 ads. But they weren't even, they were artsy more than they were like, what's he doing?
Maybe like a 180 tail bonk or
He was just kind of doing like this.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, fuck, I like the board. I like that board a lot. And then Sluggo would have an ad. He'd be upside down.
Totally.
Hand on his board, like perfectly, like good form. No snow to tell how high up he is.
That's right.
Yeah, and you're like...
Seymour.
Yeah,
Lip.
totally. I love Division 23. Yeah, and Peter was on that team.
Yeah.
That was when Peter was just like crushing. He killed for so many years in a row.
That was like Stomping Grounds or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever that was.
Yeah, you have a big part in Stomping Grounds? Or was it the next year? It was technical difficulties.
I'm thinking more he was doing the Transworld movies.
Oh, yeah.
And he was so good. You're like, holy cow.
He was thinking
like,
about what tricks he would have for those Transworld movies. I think that year crushed it for him because he was like, okay, there's going to be 4 of these movies, so I have to progress my tricks through the...
Right.
Like, imagine having to do 4 of the same series and really thinking, okay, by the 4th one, I want to have something new, obviously, that I didn't do in the 3rd.
Wild, yeah.
Yeah, he was really progressive. He was really, really good. You still watch videos and shit like that, or you...
No.
Did you stop?
I just don't feel like I don't know how anyone survives. How does anyone have any time to do anything?
I mean, I got an hour and 40 minutes to do social media shit.
That's like, it's shocking, right? When did that happen?
I don't know.
You could have done something else.
Today, I could have done an hour and 40 minutes of something else.
I should look. I bet I'm the same.
Do it. Check it.
I might.
How did it
Hour
change
54.
Yeah, so we're about the same.
Productivity, 123.
What does that even mean?
Reading and reference,
Yeah.
18 minutes.
Huh. Oh, that's everything.
I was on messages for an hour.
Yeah.
Mail for 57 minutes.
Damn.
Instagram was 51 minutes.
51, that's not much.
Safari was 38. Daily average,
Yeah.
19 minutes.
Of Instagram.
Instagram.
That's fucking not much. I gotta stop. I gotta go to 0. I gotta just do it.
No one's gonna like you.
I don't give a shit. I won't know.
What else? Is there anything else?
No, man. It's time to go to bed. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for letting me harass you for the summer and finally breaking into your house. And I can cut the duct tape off now and let you
there you
get
go.
back to your kids.
All right.
Thanks, Devun, man. You're the best.
Yeah,
of all
thank you.
times. I mean it for real. Like,
thanks, buddy.
I hear it a lot.
Right.
I talk to a lot of fucking snowboarders, and your name comes up more than any other.
Oh, that's funny.
Do you feel like some other people, like, that you could still put out, like, your best part? Or are you done?
I for sure could.
You know it.
Yeah, like, I don't know, if I didn't have a family, and I would probably still snowboard.
That combination of, like, wisdom and...
I mean, I don't know, I would like to.
Hard work.
But...
Yeah.
I just don't... I don't want to scare my family anymore.
Yeah.
It's fair.
That's a good way to end it. Later, dude. Thanks. So many FNRad shoutouts this week. Let's start with Natasha at Cypress Mountain. Thank you for the lift tickets that we gave away at the movie screening at Fortune Soundclub. Special thanks to Gman for helping make that happen, and all the guys at Fortune, Geordie and Jason and the ticket people, and Travis at the boardroom, and fucking everybody that showed up. Thank you guys for showing up. Thanks to everybody that bought into the Wired raffle. That's fucking dope. And somebody gets to make a custom board. That's fucking amazing. Thanks to King Snow for putting an article in there of me and the podcast this month. That was fucking a pleasant surprise. Pretty awesome. And speaking of King Snow, Mountains, the guys that made one of the movies that we screened, have a huge write-up in there, like 5 or 6 pages. Check out King Snow. It's dope. And thanks, Jesse, and thanks, Crispin, for all your work on that. Mag is awesome. Thanks to Danimals for letting us premiere the Ride Sickie movie in Vancouver. That was fucking fun. The Manboys, Umami. Thanks, Rusty and Chris and Jody. Stoked. That was just too much fun. We got to do it again. Oh, and special thanks to Mark Fawcett, who's given me some training advice for the Mount Baker Bank Slalom. I'm going to take it serious, for real. And I've already started stretching. I've stretched 1 day so far as I've recorded this. And I'm going to stretch. I'm going to change my diet. I'm going to, exercise. I'm going to train, man, because I'm probably only going to get into the Baker Slalom 1 time, you know? So I'll keep you guys posted. Thanks again for listening. Be sure to come back next week for another episode of the FNRad Snowboarding Podcast by SIA Productions.